Hey guys, so this week is a fun episode. We are joined by the guys from Muscadine Bloodline to talk music, balancing crazy schedules, how little any of us know about the music industry or the hunting industry, and of course we talk a good bit about hunting, bow hunting, turkey hunting, bird hunting, all of it. Gary and Charlie are both great guys, good outdoorsmen, and just the kind of folks that you like to see succeed. And lastly, I hope you're enjoying this podcast. If you are, do us a favor and head to our page on iTunes, give us a rating, and write a review. Enjoy the show. So this week we're here, and this is exciting because I don't know if I told you guys this, but y'all are probably, no, not probably, y'all are definitely the first music artist we've ever had on the show. You know, we try to keep it a variety of different guests, but this week I have Charlie and Gary from Muscadine Bloodlines on here. Guys, thank you for coming on.
Hey, man, thanks for having us, man. We're happy to be the first people to do it.
This is a 100% true story. This is how I even got the idea of having y'all on the show. We were driving to, I think, New Mexico, going elk hunting, and Ben, who works with me, was telling me about this. He was like, dude, you got to hear this song. I was like, what song is it? So he pulls up Porch Swing Angel on YouTube, and I was like, dude, everyone's heard this song. But I had never seen the music video before, and I think you were wearing a hat that had like a mallard duck on it. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, this dude's a hunter. So then I went and pulled up your Instagram. I was like, man, he is a hunter. I got to get this guy on the show. So reached out to you, and here we are.
Yeah, man, we're happy to be here. We love always talking about, like, being outdoors and stuff. It's kind of a thing nowadays since we're so on the road pretty much all the time. You know, you don't get to go as much as you'd like.
Right.
But every free chance we get, we try to go on, on a little trip or somewhere. So
yeah.
It's good. And then, we live in Nashville, Tennessee now, and we've been trying to look at leases somewhere a little closer a little closer to Nashville. And so we've been trying to figure out leases and stuff like that, but it's just kind of hard because they get bought up really quick out here, and the parcels aren't like as big as they would be back home. And
right.
I imagine where you are from. So it's kind of like you got to go check them out, and a lot of them don't seem to be worth the money.
Yeah, dang, I can see where that would be a struggle. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Like, tell me a little bit about y'all, man, Charlie and Gary. Like, tell me a little bit about y'all's background, where you're from, and all that.
Yeah, man. So this is Charlie speaking now. We're both from Mobile, Alabama, and a lot of people here say that a lot. We're pretty proud of where we're from, and we actually grew up really close to each other, but we didn't really meet until after we left for college. And we kind of both had our own bands going, and
yeah,
we would do like shows in our hometown, and Gary would come out and open, and then I'd go to Hattiesburg and open for him, and vice versa. And we kind of struck up a friendship. And Gary, after we kind of struck a friendship up, Gary hit me up and was just like, man, I'm going to Nashville. Like, I was living in Auburn, Alabama at the time, and I was like, man, I don't really have anything else to do, so I might just come up there with you. So I literally slept on Gary's floor in his room for like 2 weeks until a room opened up. And then we lived in the same house together, from that day in 2015 until literally about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Charlie just made that grown-up move. He just bought him a house.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Stepping out into the big waters.
I know.
Yeah, I was watching a bunch of deer out in my backyard.
Yeah, actually, he's been sending me pictures. The turkey and deer are everywhere out here. We're butt up right to a lake.
Yeah.
So we do a little bit of fish. Actually, did some kayak fishing 2 days ago with our tour manager out there, and so just like the little quick day trips. Anyway, we can just get out there and step away for a little bit.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. That is cool. That's such a cool story, man, that y'all, whenever you hear a story like that, it just kind of seems like, I don't know, when you meet or when you talk to guys that are kind of doing something along the lines of what you're doing, it's not like you never hear the same story twice, and you never.
Right, it's never just cut and dry. Like,
right.
Oh, we were best friends that grew up together, and this was our passion. We've, been doing that. It is kind of funny how it all worked out. And forgive me if I don't know where you are based out of.
We're in so Primos is headquartered in Flora, Mississippi. It's probably about 10 minutes on the west side of Jackson.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm familiar with their. I went to Southern Miss in Hattiesburg.
Gotcha.
And then we actually both date being from Alabama, we dated a couple Mississippi girls. Like
Yeah.
Charlie, he's married to one now, but his girl's from Meridian, and my girl's from down close to Picayune in a small town called Poplarville.
Oh, yeah. I know where Poplarville is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I figured there had to be something to that because, and I'm not trying to like, I mean, I'm a fan, obviously, but like, yeah, that single y'all released, the girl from Mississippi, like that's a good song, man. Like that has been my jam recently. I've been listening to that dang near every day, either driving to work or from it.
Well, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
So tell me this, like this is something and you touched on it, kind of, sort of, like so. I know, I know the hunting industry, but I know nothing about the music industry. Like I know.
Yeah, we don't either.
That's the funny thing, man. Nobody up here knows about it. We just all guessed it. Yeah.
Just kind of go with see what works.
Yeah. No, I'll cut you off, man. But go ahead.
No. I understand, man. That's funny. I feel the same way about the hunting industry sometimes. I just feel like I'm kind of wandering around blindly and hoping it works out. But
yeah.
So I can imagine that, especially when y'all are touring around and stuff, I can imagine your schedule can get pretty crazy. Right. I mean,
yeah, man, it's pretty monotonous, and you just gotta there's never like a wind down. It's kind of like we go on the road, we leave usually on Wednesday afternoons, we're back on Sunday, and then you got a couple days when you're in town, to do, then you got to write and take care of the business, and come up with ideas for things, and then you got to spend time with your girls and do laundry, that stuff. So there ain't much time, but it's pretty monotonous, and I think it's the cost of doing something you love,
yeah.
and then once it's you make it a job. I mean, at the end of the day, you work in the hunting industry, and that's your passion. We work in the music industry, and that's our passion. But at the end of the day, it's just a really cool job that we get to do. It pays the bills, but I mean, it just takes time, and there's really, no rhyme or reason to how the time works, of when you get off and when you can sleep, and turning it off mentally, and you don't just clock out. So there's a lot of just never ending stress and and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's you go out there and play, and people are singing your songs and coming to the shows, and you see you got to take it. Deep breath and kind of, take it in those little moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really tells you, what it's going to be like in any business. You kind of just have to dive in and you figure out, the good with the bad, and you just kind of cope with it. If it's something you love to do, at the end of the day, the good always outweighs the bad a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I feel like I get that on a different level. I mean, kind of, sort of, because I feel like, I don't know, an example, I guess, when we're doing – I think it was last spring, when we were running around filming for turkey shows and the the stuff that we do. I think I slept in my own bed at home 3 nights between the 1st of March and the end of May. And so during all that, obviously there were some times I was like, man, I wish I was home, but at the same time I wouldn't trade it for anything. So it's kind of a trade-off there. But what y'all are saying, it kind of seems relatable, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we had plenty of those nights where we're like, dang, dude, I want to be home. Yeah, we just got back, from Mexico. We were down there playing a festival. It's a week-long thing, and then we had just got off the road playing, played a festival with Luke Combs, and then, so we were going for 10 days straight, and by that 10th day, we were like, I'm ready to get back. But you got to look at it, it's dang, Luke, we got to go to, Cancun, open for Luke Combs, and do all these cool things, and in the same week we put out a new song that did really well, and so it's just kind of you got to take it all in and be happy with it, but you got to find that balance.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny, man, because the more and more you do this, you realize that, like Gary said, it's if you're following a dream or a passion, there's really no ceiling, and so once you have one little victory, you celebrate for a split second, and you're like, well, what's the next thing we got to do? And so it's amazing and a curse at the same time. It's just you get caught up in wanting to beat every single goal you have, and every time you smash a goal, your goal level just goes up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you can't ever really catch it. You just keep chasing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you climb a mountain, and then once you climb that peak, you want to go to the other one that's a little higher, and so it's just like
never catch it. That's like the best analogy of it I've heard. Like it's like you're literally chasing it, but you never catch it.
Yeah, man. Trust me. Obviously we're on different playing fields, but I get what you're saying. I think I do. I think I do. I might try to explain it, and y'all be like, "No, that's not it." But so let me ask you this, and I'm going somewhere with this question, but I'm asking again just strictly out of like more curiosity about what y'all do. So like when you're up there and you're playing a show, and you play. I mean, I know probably. Like I said, Porch Swing Angel, I'm assuming is one of y'all bigger ones. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite, but it doesn't have to be that one. But like when you're up there and you're playing a song and the whole audience is out there and they're singing along and just cheering on to something that y'all put that much work in to produce, that's got to feel pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It really is. It's like those, like, a lot of our friends, and they see the 90 minutes we're on stage, and we live in this Instagram world where it's everybody's highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone sees like, man, this is an awesome job. Like, I wish I could do what y'all did. And, we've put in, hours and hours of work and the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and, all the traveling and everything. So there's like those few pockets of like, every week that lasts about 70 to 90 minutes every time you get on stage. And that's like, really enjoyable. It's just
that's
like
the highlight reel.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like you get up there and like every time I'm playing a show, I ain't worrying about like what's going on at home or like whatever. It's just like I'm just playing music, enjoying being up there with Charlie, and then you see all these people who come out to show who they got their own set of problems and life struggles going on, and they get to check out for a couple of hours,
right.
and then when they sing words you wrote, and they come up to you and like, man, that like a Porch Swing Angel, for example, like it's like, man, that was our wedding song. That was our first dance and that stuff. And you're like, man, that like the fact that you really like put time into creating something and it meant so much to someone that they would do that at their wedding and then come pay you to see you play it. That's just a weird concept. That's crazy to like think.
Yeah, man, it's a really cool trade-off. Like you said, you put in all these hours, and that's really the moment we're all chasing right there. And we catch it for that split second. And it really makes everything all worth it, and it puts it in perspective that like all the hard work is paying off.
And then you're like, shit, now we got to go here and load up the trailer and drive through the night to do it again and get no sleep and stuff. So it really is. We got to even get better at cherishing those moments.
Yeah, I get it, man. It's the stuff that people don't see. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's like like when we air like say like a I don't know like a elk hunting episode, right? So when a episode of ours goes up on Outdoor Channel, it's 22 minutes long. And people be like, man, that was awesome. Those hunts on there were great. I'm like, what they don't know is we were maybe in New Mexico for 2 weeks to get that 22-minute show.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's a really similar situation.
Yeah. It's crazy how, much people don't realize when they just like, turn on, the TV and see what, especially in y'all's industry, like what goes into like, tracking this thing and finding this elk and all the filming and making sure the shot is good. And
not to mention all the people that are getting paid that you got to pay out of your pocket to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but like I said, and I feel like y'all would say the same thing about what y'all do. Even though as hard as it can be sometimes, I still wouldn't trade it for anything. Like I absolutely love it.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right, man.
Yeah, man. If you ain't loving what you're doing, you just need to find something else to do.
Dude, couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And that's why I think guys with you saying that someone has an outlook like that. That's how I think y'all end up in the kind of situation y'all are. Playing shows in Mexico so let's talk some hunting. Y'all good with that? Y'all want to talk some hunting? So
let's talk it.
It's getting to be that time of year to start thinking heavily on food plots, especially for you guys up north. I'm sure some of y'all have already gotten started. So I've got to take a second to tell you about the incredible results we've seen from the Primos takeout seed. It has made a huge difference in our hunting at Cottonmouth. Brassica blends, clover blends, fall mix, whatever it is you need, we have it covered. Head on over to primos.com to check it out. I'm just imagining, I feel like it's a safe assumption that both y'all coming from Mobile, y'all both have somewhat of a hunting background. Would that be safe to say?
Well, this is Charlie speaking. I didn't do much hunting growing up, and then until I was really about 23.
Okay.
And I've only been on a couple deer hunts, but I've done more bird hunting than I have deer hunting.
Really? What kind of like quail or pheasant or what?
Yeah. The first bird hunt I ever did was pheasant, and then I've done some quail hunting too.
Yeah.
Still never got on a turkey, and I've never killed a deer, but I've shot some birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in it, and it's really kind of like, Mobile's a metropolitan area, and if you don't have any property or friends that want to that go or enjoy doing that stuff, it's it takes a minute to get in. But I really got into it when I was about 14 or 15, and I had a buddy, he's one of my best friends, and he gave me this youth model PSC Spider.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right. So I in my backyard, I just started shooting that thing, every day after school, and got pretty good with it. And then, killed my first deer with the bow.
You killed your first deer ever with a bow?
Yeah, man, I did. It was just a little cold buck, and when I was like 16, but it was like really cool to see.
Yeah. Dude, that's pretty rare. You don't hear someone's first deer coming with a bow. That's not something you hear too often.
Right. And so, it was kind of weird because, my dad grew up hunting, and, but we were more efficient, and we played every sport, all season round. So when you don't ever have a free Saturday, or, when it's baseball in the spring, and then summertime, you ain't killing nothing. And then, fall, you got football. Winter, you got basketball.
Right.
So there just really wasn't really any time for us to really go. And until I got older and, had some friends that really got into it. But, yeah, man, and then, I try to go, at least 2 or 3 times a year still. And then, but when I was in college, I had in South Mississippi, we had, a plethora of places to go. And then I was in a lease with a buddy that, was only like 45 minutes away from Hattiesburg. So we would pretty much leave every Thursday afternoon, and we'd come back, on Mondays, just hunting the whole time. So, but yeah, man, really, I wish we could go more, like I said, but it's just, but I've done my fair share of it, and, gotten into, some different stuff, and, I've killed turkey, I've killed deer, I've, done some bird hunting with Charlie, and my girlfriend actually, her dad does guided pheasant hunts guided quail hunts out of Poplarville, Mississippi.
Really?
And so, and so he does everything. He incubates them and everything, and he's got a little lodge out there. We actually I took Charlie down there for his bachelor party, and we just went down there with some buddies and did a pheasant. I keep saying pheasant, quail hunt down there with him. So it was a good time. Yeah,
dude, those quail hunts like that are a blast. We went on one it was for one of my good friends' bachelor party back in February, and we had that.
Where'd y'all go out of?
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd y'all go?
It was in what was it? It's a little bitty town, JS, Mississippi, like Jayess. I'd never been there before. I never even heard of JS as a town. But I was like, they said there's quail there. I said, all right, cool. So off I went.
Yeah, man. I gotta get y'all down there to Poplarville. We can go find a day or something like that next year and go.
Dude, say when. Just say when.
Yeah.
That's like I heard, like Charlie, I don't know how heavy your interest is, but I heard you said you hadn't got to kill a deer or a turkey. Like we can, that's fixable. That's very fixable. You just holler.
Hey, dude, I'll say this: I'm a pretty good shot with a shotgun, so I'm down to shoot a turkey.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
probably.
so we got the National Gun Club out here.
Yeah.
And we got memberships to that. We try to go at least a couple times a month and just shoot trap and skeet and clays and everything. So
Yeah.
that's like our little fix. It's like getting out there. If we don't have time to drive,
You got to find a time to do some redneck stuff, man.
I heard that, man.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I understand that statement on a spiritual level. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That tell me so Charlie, so the first hunting you ever did was bird hunting.
I went on a deer hunt with my dad when I was younger.
Right.
And I shot and missed a doe with iron sights, like pretty far away, and that was the only time I've been deer hunting one other time, didn't see anything.
Yep.
But so that was like literally twice I went hunting. And then my wife's dad took me up to South Dakota, and we did a pheasant hunt. And I was like, well, this is pretty easy, and this is one of the funnest times I've ever had.
Right.
So
yeah.
we try to make that annual trip up there to South Dakota.
Yeah. I hadn't shot a quail or pheasant ever until last November. We went to Kansas and did a pheasant and quail hunt. And I was like, man, why have I lived this long on this earth and not done this before?
It's crazy. It's crazy because my grandfather, like, he grew up pheasant hunting and doing all this stuff. And I used to have all these cool pictures that he had. And like, he used to collect all these, these pheasant, mounts and stuff, and I didn't really care.
Right.
And then I finally, got to old enough to have an interest in that, and I was like, wow, this is one of the fun. I mean, it was the first bird hunt I ever did, and I was like, well, if this is what anything like bird hunting is, I'm hooked.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. It's so much fun, especially because I learned real quick, deer hunting is not for everybody. There's some people that like just sitting still for a very long period of time. You're just not, just not what I want to do. But bird hunting, you ain't got to do that. You're walking and there's dogs and
you're not being quiet.
Right. Yeah. You're high-fiving your buddies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You got 10. You could have up to 10 of people out there, and still have a good time.
Oh heck yeah! It's hard to not have a good time bird hunting unless you're missing a lot. Then then it can kind of get frustrating. Because I had a day like that in November, man. I feel like there could have been 1,000 pheasants flush. I don't think I would have touched one, but it buffed out.
Yeah, if nobody's hitting, it damn sure ain't no fun.
Yeah, it can for sure get frustrating.
Unless one of your buddies ain't hitting, then you get to give him hell all day.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, if you're on the other end of it, if you're hitting and your buddy's not, then it's a great time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, this is I got one more question for you guys, and we may have touched on a little bit already, but it's a question I kind of wanted to ask. If I were to ask y'all, what is the biggest misconception about what y'all do, like the biggest misconception about y'all's job?
I'll give you my answer.
Okay.
It's Charlie speaking, and I heard somebody say this a few weeks ago, and it kind of resonated with me. But one of the biggest misconceptions about this job, and I think it can relate to a lot, is just because you're famous, it doesn't mean you're rich, and just because you're rich, it doesn't mean you're famous.
Right.
And like, there's a million people out there chasing their dream and on Instagram and stuff. Like I said, it's a highlight reel, but at home it's more of a grind than you think, and
yeah.
and vice versa, just because you're successful at something doesn't mean you're the most popular guy in the world either.
Yeah.
I would say for me, probably the fact that like musicians like a lot of times get like a bad rep. Like there's kind of this like mentality that musicians are lazy and then all they do is just smoke pot and play guitar and stuff like that. But like, I mean, it's work, man. Like it's like because we're really building a business, and like we have employees and we got to go play to pay them and pay their bills and everything like that. And it's just like the misconception to me is like our job pretty much is like we just get up there and play music and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's like, and which it is. It's a great time, but there's just a lot of behind the scenes that people don't really understand what's going on. And,
yeah, I get it, man. It's like they think you just do nothing but play all the time.
Right.
And so see the good.
Yeah. And that's all they see. So they shouldn't have to know any better. But it's Charlie and I are sitting here with our laptops open. Every day we're coming in here and figuring out, okay, what's the next play, and we got to promote these shows, and we got to
what's the plan today?
What do we all got to do, and it's all strategic. And like we didn't even realize when we got into this, like, that there was all this stuff, and you kind of hit you kind of get to a next threshold and you break through it, and you're like, okay, now we gotta do this, and we didn't think about it. We got to do this now, and those kind of things. And so it's just a lot of just grind. And so I'd say for anybody who wants to start a music career, just be prepared that as it goes, there's even if the most successful artists, like we just actually got off tour with a guy named Kit Moore, and we did an acoustic tour with him, and just seeing him come off stage, and it was a show where it was 3,000 people in a sit down theater, and he was still having this the same struggles, and his struggles might be a little different than ours, but at the end of the day, the more successful you get and the more things come, it's like the struggles are always going to be there.
Yeah.
It's just maybe a different type of struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like that. It's not like you just get to a certain point of success and then put it on cruise control and just ease your way through life.
Right. Now it's like, okay, how do we make this thing bigger? How do we make it better?
Hey, we all wish it was like that.
Yeah,
but
don't we all?
Like that, everybody would do it.
Yeah,
right.
That would be awful nice. I wouldn't do anything but bird hunt.
Yeah. So yeah, man, as it goes, it just kind of like the struggles just kind of change.
Yeah.
And but we're blessed, and the Lord's really blessed us with opportunities and that we don't take for granted, and we're just humbled every time we go out there and take the stage and people spend their hard-earned money to come see it.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for y'all, man. I'm glad y'all are doing good. It's easy to get behind and support guys like y'all. Y'all are some good dudes. Y'all got some good music too.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. I mean, the other misconception for us too is like we're just normal guys who live normal lives. We just happen to have a different job career. Like we didn't really get into this to be the next Luke Bryan. We wouldn't hate if that happened, but
right.
It's kind of, we just, wanted to be comfortable and make a living doing what we love. And that's just, that jump off point of, leaving, being comfortable and saying, okay, you know what, we need to, do this. And we feel led to do this and chase this dream.
Yeah. Well, good for y'all, man. Good for y'all for doing what you're doing, and good for y'all for having the confidence and the wherewithal to go through with it. Like I said, I'm nothing but happy for y'all. That's great.
Well, we appreciate it, Lake. Thanks so much, man. And
yeah, we got to get up, buddy.
Yeah, we need to, man. We're gonna be in we'll be in Mississippi this fall. We'll have to get y'all out to a show or something like that. Y'all come hang out.
Dude, I would do it. I'd do it in a minute. Just I'm all over that.
Yeah, we went through Jackson and Starkville and all those places. So Hattiesburg. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all came and played Starkville when I was at Mississippi State, which that's been a little bit.
Okay.
It's been a little while
so
ago.
I was about to ask if you were a Bulldog or a Rebel.
Oh yeah, that's a Bulldog through and through. I can't be a Rebel.
Well, hey, I'm just saying, Omaha is going to be looking good. We got our Auburn Tigers in there too.
Oh yeah, I was. You can't. Yeah, it was a very exciting series of games. I'm eager to see how that plays out for sure.
Yeah, we're big Braves fans, and we know Austin Riley from he played at State, and so we're just kind of like, and he's been killing the game. He might win, Rookie of the Year this year if he keeps playing how he does.
Yeah, doing great. Absolutely great. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. If y'all are in Mississippi, holler.
Man.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah, we'll have to get up. We'll have to put Charlie on a turkey or a deer or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, just say when. That we can make that happen. 100%.
Yeah, well, I'm saying when now.
Yeah. We'll link up. I mean, we got our numbers now, and we can figure out a date. Maybe but actually we'll be in Hattiesburg in December.
Awesome.
And we'll be in Starkville, I think, in Actually, we're in start. When is the bow season open up in
October
Mississippi?
1st.
Is it that October 1st?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're there in October. It might even be September. I don't know, but we can coordinate that, or we can take a weekend off and come down.
Nice. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Well, look, dude, I won't hold y'all any longer, but believe me when I said I really enjoyed this conversation. Y'all are some good guys. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us, man. And we're looking forward to hanging out and doing more.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, all right, guys, sweet. I'll wrap this up. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to this conversation as much as I did. Check out Muscadine Bloodline. Check out their music. They really have some good stuff. And as always, thank you for listening to the Speak the Language podcast.